Hello everyone. Well, I'm making a video on Yandev. What a surprise. I promise I'm not a drama channel, I'm an art and a gaming channel. But I do like making drama videos. It's one of my hobbies. Now, if you don't know who Yandev is, he is a game developer that has been creating a game known as Yandev Simulator for about 6 years, nearly 7 years at this point. And the way the game goes is I think there's about 6 or 8 rivals that you are supposed to defeat to, earn the love of your senpai, which, oh my god. It's a cool concept, I won't deny that, I do like the concept, but the way that the game is being developed is just horrendous. Some of the points that people have made against Yandev is the fact that 1, he can't take criticism, 2, it's been 6 years, the first rival isn't even in the game yet, and lastly, well, he's kind of a scammer. Now, what do I mean by he's kind of a scammer? Well, let me just think about that. Oh, he has a Patreon, and the whole point of that Patreon is so that he can get money to complete Yandev Simulator. And I think it was made when he was promising that the first rival, Osana, would be in the game. But if you look at the game, she's not in it yet. So you are not delivering the product that you promised, which, if I'm correct, that is scamming. Now, let me go over what I mean by he can't take criticism. From what I've seen, he is absolutely awful with criticism, which isn't that something that a game developer would want? He actually asked someone for criticism, but then when the person gave it to him, he claimed that they were too harsh. Isn't that the whole point of criticism? To be harsh, so that the person can improve? If I'm not wrong, that is the point of criticism. It's stupid. If they were straight up insulting you, then I understand, but if they were just giving you criticism, then I don't really see why you're so annoyed. You asked for it. If you also don't know, there is a subreddit for Yandev Simulator, which, from what I'm aware of, Yandev bought this subreddit for about $3,000. I think it was just so he could silence criticism on it. There is actually a tag on that subreddit for criticism, and I went on that subreddit and put a post there, and now I can't find it. I put it under criticism, and 2 seconds after I posted it, I could not find it anywhere. And I think I was very reasonable. I gave some actual criticism, like points on how to fix the coding, and also how he could fix the character models, because they look horrendous. But the post is gone. I cannot find it anywhere. And honestly, I'm suspecting that it was probably deleted. Wouldn't be surprising. He also blames emails for the fact that the game has taken 6 years, but we all know that's wrong. He spends most of his time playing other games instead of actually focusing on coding, which is the main thing that he needs to improve on. The coding for Yandev Simulator is horrendous, and honestly, you can tell just by looking at it. I'm no game developer, but even I can tell that that coding is awful, and because of that, the game runs terribly. I downloaded it once, and oh my god, was the frame rate awful. It was running at about 4 frames per second. 4. I think part of that is because of the fact that I was playing it on a laptop, but I think a lot of it was because of how awful the game is and its coding. Now, what is this Oopsie that Yandev has made? Well, we're about to find out. Recently, a game developer by the name of Dr. Apis has been creating a game known as Lovesick, which is basically a better version of Yandere Simulator. And it's been 2 weeks, and the game already looks 1,000 times better. But the thing is, Yandev, he doesn't like that. He claimed that Dr. Apis has copied Yandere Simulator and claims that most of the assets in Lovesick are stolen from Yandere Simulator and they've just been ripped straight from the game. But you can't really know that, Yandev. And Dr. Apis has said that he bought some of the assets, like the character models. He bought them from the Unity asset store. Yandev also claims that I think 99% of the assets in Yandere Simulator were created for Yandere Simulator. Now, I know there were some assets that were created for Yandere Simulator, but I think about 98% of them weren't, and that includes the character models. So, you don't really have anything to go off here, Yandev, because Dr. Apis has already removed the assets that weren't his to use, like the ones that were created for Yandere Simulator, the ones created by volunteers. But Dr. Apis has actually credited the volunteers that made those assets, unlike Yandev, because he seems to think that, well, they were made for me, so I don't have to credit them. Which, that isn't how it works. That is really not how it works. If someone makes something for you, unless they say otherwise, you have to credit them. But Yandev has stolen assets in his game. Like, he's gone on Google and just ripped assets from Google and put them in his game. Those assets you do not have the right to use. So for one, talking about stolen assets, you've been doing a lot of what you don't like. And now we get to Yandev's Oopsie. In his last attempt to cancel Lovesick, which he's blaming for Yandere Simulator being put on hold, which is not how that works at all. His last attempt to cancel Lovesick is absolutely disgusting. It was to practically threaten suicide. Now, Yandev, I am completely fine with you being worried about how this game could affect your game, but to threaten this is absolutely disgusting. I don't know where you think you have the right to. Suicide is not something you should be using to threaten someone to cancel a game. But also, it's just a game. Like, oh my god. If you really are that worried about how this could affect your game, just ignore it and don't do this. Because this is going to get people more angry with you than making a terrible game will get them. If anyone can logically defend Yandev after this, then congratulations, you are a white knight. Like, I used to genuinely like Yandere Simulator, but that was a while ago, and after seeing this, I don't want any part of it. Like, I do not even want to be associated with it. I mean, I always knew that it wasn't a very good game, but I did not realize that the person that created it was this low and had this much of a sad life that he would use suicide to get someone to cancel a game. The whole reason that you're doing this is because you think that you own the right to making a Yandev game using models from the Unity Asset Store, which, newsflash, you don't. You don't own the right to it. You don't own the concept. It's... The chances right now that someone would create a game that is not using a concept that hasn't been done before are so low. The chances of that. And I know Yandev was the first person to make a Yandev simulator game, but that doesn't mean he owns the right to it. Like, he owns the right to his game, yes, but he doesn't own the right to the concept of the game. Or the fact that it takes place in Japan. That's pretty much all this is about. But one of his volunteers also gave... Well, two of his volunteers, I think, gave two people false copyright claims. Which, that's against the YouTube terms of service. I know that wasn't Yandev, but he still supports it. Now that wasn't the only oopsie that Yandev has committed. The second one makes him look like a toddler. Wanna know what this one is? Well, you're about to find out. This is what he said.
What's extremely sad is at the end of the Osana demo, I was planning for the final screen to reveal that I was officially rebranding Yandev Simulator to Lovesick. I created an animation for it and everything. After this whole Lovesick debacle, I don't feel comfortable doing that anymore. It sucks that I've lost a cool surprise that I had planned. Yandev, you had 6 years to do that, and you didn't. You lost that chance because you didn't do it in 6 years. If you really wanted to rebrand it, you could have just done it. This game didn't stop that. This game is not the reason that you haven't done that. The only reason that Yandev Simulator is still called Yandev Simulator is because you are too incompetent to actually stick to your goals. So maybe, instead of delaying the release of Osana to get more Patreon money, you should have done it and rebranded Yandev Simulator to Lovesick. But oh no, Lovesick is the reason that you didn't do it. No, it's your own fault. If you really wanted to do it, you would have done it already. It's simple as that. You don't have the right to blame Lovesick for the fact that you haven't rebranded Yandev Simulator. It's your own fault. It was your choice to delay the release of Osana for the sake of Patreon money. And that's the only reason that Yandev Simulator hasn't been rebranded. Do you understand that? Probably not. You're going to start copyright claiming anyone that criticizes you. Which, if you do start doing that, I would not be surprised in the slightest. Okay, so, in short, Yandev is an incompetent game developer who blames anything but himself for his own incompetence, and he doesn't know how to make a good game. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be linking Dr. Apis in the description, though I strongly suggest that you do not support Yandev in any way, because he is horrendous. He is a horrendous human being and a terrible excuse for a game developer. Well, goodbye.